Welcome to Viruses Everywhere. Let's give our audience quite the scare. On this morning's edition, we'll be discussing the herpes simplex virus. I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Vivian.
I don't know about you, Vivian, but nothing terrifies me more than a chat about herpes early in the morning.
Totally. Herpes, the gift that can be called the gift that keeps on giving. It is, of course, a gift no one wants. Pretty sure, right?
No.
Okay.
Let's start with the basics, shall we?
Yeah. There are more than 80 known herpes viruses, and approximately 8 of them are pathogenic. 2 strains, herpes simplex virus type 1 and type 2, commonly called HSV 1 and 2, are the 2 that are carried by most adults today.
HSV-1 is known to cause cold sores around the mouth and lips. This is known as herpes simplex labialis. HSV-2 wreaks havoc on the delicate lady and/or man parts, causing genital blisters and ulcerations. The appearance of these annoying invaders is known as an outbreak.
And this brings us to our first herpes fun fact. Ta-da!
According to the CDC, 1 out of 6 people has HSV-2. It usually elicits this response.
HSV-1 can cause other facial and oral infections, including gingivitis, pharyngitis, and hepatic keratitis, which is also called ocular herpes, and which is an inflammation of the eye.
HSV-1 is generally contracted earlier, while HSV-2 is typically contracted through sexual contact.
Which brings us to our second fun fact. I was going to help you, but no,
That's okay. HSV-1 is an acquired virus, often contracted in childhood. HSV-2 is often contracted after a drunken night at a bar or similar situation.
Both HSV-1 and HSV-2 can be spread even if no sores are present, so beware. HSV-1 is often contracted through oral secretions or sores on the skin. Most of this contact comes by various means such as kissing, as we already know, sharing eating utensils, and sharing toothbrushes. Don't share toothbrushes. No.
Sharing in this case is not caring. In fact, one study by Fahutz and Schwartz in 2007 found that approximately 67% of people found to have herpes simplex labialis had HSV-1 on their hands. This may increase the likelihood of horizontal spread.
HSV-1 also has some other startling facts. Let's see them. Here we go.
Genital herpes can be caused by either HSV-1 or HSV-2. More young adults are contracting genital herpes through HSV-1 now more than ever. When in doubt, handshake it out, folks.
The herpes virus is an envelope virus. Again, it's an envelope virus. This is right here, our super high-tech rendering of what the virus may look like.
Herpes viruses are envelope viruses. They target mucous membranes and then multiply in basal and epithelial cells in the immediate vicinity.
Herpes viruses are well known for specific traits such as latency, which causes recurrent infections.
HSV-1 and 2 establish latent infections in sensory ganglia, like a hungry lion waiting to strike.
All of the listed factors, sorry, that's not it. There are certain factors that can trigger a recurrent herpes infection.
Recurrence factors include fever, UV radiation,
Tanning bed, anyone?
stress,
Did anyone say finals?
and mechanical injury. I imagine reactivation similar to punching a bear in the face after a long winter's nap.
All of the listed factors, minus the bear punch of course, reactivate the herpes virus.
Initial onset symptoms from herpes are pretty brutal.
I'll show you the poster first. Alright, symptomatic people can expect to experience symptoms such as flu-like symptoms, fever, body aches, swollen glands, blisters or ulcerations of the skin at the activation site. Finally, a general hatred for invasive latent viruses, especially after the last symptom is experienced.
On the bright side, the first herpes outbreak is generally the most severe, and subsequent outbreaks are less torturous and tend to be shorter in duration.
Unfortunately, there is no cure for HSV1 or 2. The virus persists for the lifetime of the host, hanging around like a deadbeat roommate. However, there are some medications out there to help manage the virus and keep it from recurring as frequently or shorten the duration of the outbreak.
Some of the treatments to keep the virus from attacking like a vicious piranha include Abreva, acyclovir, famciclovir, and valacyclovir. These viral killers inhibit DNA polymerase and subsequent incorporation into the replicating viral DNA chain, irreversibly terminating its further elongation. Lots of words.
All right. Typically, immune-compromised individuals and infants are the only people that generally suffer from severe and threatening types of herpes viruses. Luckily, HSV1 and HSV2 typically offer to annoy you about 4 to 14 days.
Laboratory tests include viral isolation and culture, cytological smears, tissue biopsies, DFA studies, and PCR. These are just a few of the laboratory tests used to confirm the presence of HSV types 1 and 2.
Preventive measures such as hand washing, safe sex practices, and general kindness will help keep HSV from invading your mucous membranes.
Before we go, we really wanted to impart to you what we feel you should take away from this lovely discussion.
Here are some highlights we thought you really should know.
A main feature of HSV is characterized by its latency and recurrence. Herpes remains latent in sensory ganglion. Herpes cannot, I repeat, cannot be cured. Most HSV1 infections are acquired during childhood, and HSV is an envelope virus.
Over 530 million people worldwide have HSV2, and millions are walking around asymptomatic. If and when it happens to you, just remember it is way better than having necrotitis fasciitis.
That's it for us. Thanks for joining us today. And remember, the more you know, the more terrified of the general population you will become.
Stay safe, Las Vegas.